Hi, and thanks for joining me today. My name is Michelle, and today we're going to be talking about non-duality and how non-duality affects our lives. Non-duality is the experience of singularity. It is the true manifestation of experience, and it can't be separate. Each one of us perceives ourselves to be a separate being, and we've been told our entire life that we are separate and unique, that we have a soul, we have a body, we have all of these things that make us a human being. But what if this was all a misperception? What if the reality of our world was actually a composite of many different separated experiences appearing as one? What if our world wasn't exactly the way we think it is? We say that we are human beings, but what does that really mean? It means that we are being in a human experience. The word human implies that we are both an animal and an enlightened being. It implies that we are aware of being aware. This sentience allows us to have a higher cognitive thinking. This higher cognitive thinking allows us to think about thinking, which is where we get into the most trouble. What is the being that is living and breathing you? Well, some say it's the soul. But today I'd like to discuss what being is apart from the soul itself. Being is the wellspring of life-giving pranic energy that is living and breathing you. And as part of the universe, it manifests in duality. The original duality begins when Purusha and Prakriti come together in union. They manifest into this manifest reality, and that is where the elements are manifested. The manifestation of elements allows for the composites of elements in the tridoshic system. And the tridoshic system allows for manifest beings in various experiences. So air and ether come together to create vata. Fire and water come together to create pitta. And earth and water come together to create kapha. Now, the constitutions of our being make up the entire experience, the physical body and the physical manifest world. Everything that we touch, everything that we interact with, is a form of Prakriti embodied with the spirit of Brahman, Purusha. So the being that is living and breathing you is the same being that is living and breathing me, and there is no separation, no real separation if we're looking at it from the perspective of ultimate reality or Paramashiva, where Shiva and Shakti are joined in union always together and are inseparable. It cannot be done. Now, when we see Prakriti, our bodies, our containers, the walls around you, your apartment, your house, maybe your school or your place of business, when we see all of these different compartments, we automatically assume and agree to the idea of duality. But what is duality? Duality is a construct of the mind created to keep us safe and to keep us on a certain path. The path of duality is fraught with suffering in the form of separation, but also suffering in the form of misperception. How often have we found ourselves in an argument with another human being only to find out that it's not that there is an actual right or wrong, but rather there are differences in perspectives and therefore differences in the stories we've told ourselves. The actual event happened just as it happened, but our perception of the world around us and the story we tell ourselves about that world prevents us from being in our truth, prevents us from seeing that we are divine beings in a human experience. Now, this also perpetuates this misunderstanding that you can be wrong and I can be right, or that I can be right and you can be wrong. We're attached to or averted from our perception of the world based on our experiences, and then we design elaborate stories to help us to cope with the idea that we are in this human experience and there are so many uncertainties and unknowns. Our perspective of reality is based on our previous experiences and all of the projected karmas that have come our way throughout our lifetime. When I say something to someone that offends them, it offends them because what I said landed on their fertile material. It activated a hurt, something painful from their past, or something they perceive as painful. And this activation causes them to react, and they throw something back at me. Maybe it activates my hurt, maybe it doesn't. But regardless, a misunderstanding has occurred. When we begin to work our own inner material, healing opportunities abound. We can understand that the material that we threw out haphazardly really does land and sprout karmic seeds in another person's garden. One of my friend's mothers says that the most important service we can give to humanity is to do our own work, to acknowledge what is arising as it's arising, rather than to project it onto someone else as a way to cope with the misperception of separation. If we begin to work with duality in this way, we become aware that we are aware that we are aware. And every other being is a being embodied into its experience. That being is not separate. The separation we perceive is the psychic karmic residue that comes from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime and is lived out in these physical bodies. What I'm saying is the soul that you believe to be unique and you is actually not unique at all. It's the same being that's living and breathing in every other being on the planet, in the solar system, in the universe. What is living and breathing you is living and breathing every being in the entire universe. The thoughts, the feelings, the memories, the experiences, your personality, that's karma. We perceive it to be good or we perceive it to be bad, but it's all karmic. Your body, the face that you have, the hair that you have, everything about you, the parents you have, the relationships you've had, everything is karma. And it's not meant to be good and it's not meant to be bad. It's just an experience. So if we attach ourselves to that karma, then we either love the karma we've been given or we hate the karma we've been given. We can look at this in relation to all of our experiences, our experience with self, our experiences with others, our interactions with experiences that cause activating reactions, our interactions with experiences that cause benign reactions. All of this is karmic material, and it's just begging to be addressed. Anytime a thought, a feeling, a memory, or sensation associated with hurt arises, you can forgive yourself for buying into that misunderstanding. All hurt comes from a place of misunderstanding, of the misperception that we are separate. All of our experiences, every single thing that happens to us, is an opportunity to awaken into a deeper relationship with our natural enlightened state of being. Every experience is an effort to our awakening. As we move through and do this work, you might notice that some very traumatic experiences come up. Remember, the judgments that we have about ourselves and others, about right and wrong, or good and bad, are all an effort to keep us safe. We're not asking you to let go of the safety and the boundaries that you have created to protect yourself. And in fact, acknowledge yourself for knowing how to create safe boundaries, how to keep yourself safe and contained. As you're ready, when you feel comfortable, you will begin to let go of those judgments about past experiences. The victim mentality will dissipate, and you will recognize and see that everything that you have experienced was in effort to your awakening, to being here now. You might experience intense sensations, memories, thoughts, perceptions of past events. They might actually be overwhelming at times. Remember to ground. Create a practice and a ritual around grounding yourself, feeling safe and secure in your body. Know that at any time you can reach out, and we're happy to help you to navigate any thoughts, feelings, memories, or sensations that might arise. Let's do a grounding exercise to help you to learn to use some of these tools to regulate when you find yourself in dis-ease. Place one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart. Sitting up nice and tall, just breathe in and out through the nose. Allow your awareness to focus on your breathing. The rise and fall of the chest into the hands. Or maybe it's the sensation of air moving into the nostrils and out of the nostrils. With every inhalation, feel the container expand, and with every exhalation, allow the breath to wash over you and anchor you to your seat. And silently repeating the following mantras. I am whole and I am complete. I am exactly where I need to be. I have everything I need. I am a divine being in a human experience. Everything is an effort to my awakening. I am whole. I am conscious. I am aware. I am being. Releasing the palms to the thighs, sitting up nice and tall, just noticing the body, noticing the mind, noticing the quality of the mind. Drawing the hands to the center of the heart, acknowledging yourself for coming onto your mat today to take a moment to connect to the vitality that is living and breathing you. Be well, yogis. Namaste.